Right, we're going to be looking at Gerald Tools on Gerald Code today. So this is the big kind of episode that's taken me a week to get right. I'm first going to show you what it is we're going to achieve today. This looks very different to what we had before. Before we just had this tool, but now we have these different tools here. We actually have 6 new tools that we have, and 5 of them are MCP clients. Now this is something we're going to get to later in the video, but essentially Gerald Code can now call our entire file system, our Brave browser, Postgres memory, Ollama, and GitHub. It can do everything. So for example, if I go to Ollama and execute the step, just execute list, it pulls all the models in, and that was pretty much instant. So these MCP servers run on our system. File system, if I execute that, you can see edit file, write file, create directory, list directory, which is arguably better than our SSH tool because we get a scope. Because in the last video, we just gave this access to everything. So today we're going to get Gerald Code looking more like this, and we're going to rename Gerald Code to Gerald Tools. And the coolest thing about all of this is we could replace this because the file system tool is our new coding tool. Because of everything that it's able to do, it will just replace it essentially. Okay, let's dive into the setup then. So we obviously have quite a lot to change in here. We are going to be starting with the terminal first and foremost. Right, so I'm in my SRV folder, and you'll see that we have our, we can ignore that for now, we have our NAN folder. So I'm going to jump into NAN. And if I do ls here, you'll see we still have the same files. Now there's going to be a few things we need to do. So I'm going to show you the Docker Compose file, and I don't want you to panic. So it's now very quite long, because what we've done is we've integrated the MCP services into the NAN Compose. We have the MCP service, the file system service, the Brave service, the Ollama service, the Postgres service, and these are essentially all copy and pasteable. The Postgres one will use the env file we set up before. Ollama just uses, the host, which is perfectly fine. We're going to have to go into .env and add a Brave API key. I'm going to show you how to get that as well in a minute. Keep going up to file system. Now this one's quite important. So coming across on this line here, where it's at model context protocol, this line just here is the file directory you want it to be able to work from. So if I was, for example, going to do /srv, this is where it would execute all of them commands and have access to. But I'm going slash because I'm ballsy with this. I do have that as a volume down there as well. Then you need to go in and add a GitHub token. I'm going to show you that as well. Just needs access to repos. So essentially, Gerald is now able to go out to my GitHub and read the Gerald repo and tell me what I could change, which is awesome. And there we go. We have our Postgres and then NAN just above that. All right. So I won't save anything now. I'm now going to show off the .env file. So inside of the env file, you'll see my actual keys. These will be blanked, of course. You'll see the Brave API key that we're going to have to go and get. Make sure it follows this prefix of Brave API key. And same for the GitHub token. If you do change that or want to change that, just update it in the compose as well. There we go. Okay, let's finish these prerequisites of getting these keys in. Okay, so if you search for Brave API keys and get signed up, you'll need an email, password, a code. It'll take you to this page here where you can create an API key, but it is going to need you to subscribe to a plan. Now, don't panic about this. You don't have to spend any money. You'll see that you get $5 free credit every month for Brave Search, which is the one we're going to use today to complete search results, so text, news, images, and more, with LLM context optimized for AI, which is brilliant. I've subscribed to this. I did have to add my card, but what I have done in usage limits is I've set a $5 limit. So every month I won't go past that initial free $5, so I don't need to spend any money on my web searches. Once you've set up your payment information, you can just add an API key here. Just give it a name and just click add, and then just put that into your .env file. Okay, and then on GitHub, you want to come to github.com/settings/tokens, and then generate new token and generate a classic token here. Select the repo here, or you can go more if you want it to have more access. Just give it a name and scroll down to the bottom and generate that token, and then just paste that token you get into the GitHub section of the env. So hopefully that's making a little bit of sense now. And also every MCP service that we're running today, it will all be in the description down below in case you want to see the actual GitHubs. That one we didn't actually decide to use, or that one. But there we go. So you have your prerequisites, then do sudo docker compose down and sudo docker compose up -d. Get yourself a nice fresh instance of NAN going. I'll just do a quick refresh because I did change some stuff. Okay, so in Gerald main, the first change I want to tell you about is this respond to webhook node I added. So inside of the trigger from last episode, you want to come down to respond and just change it to use respond to webhook node, because we're going to do that instead. And then just add the respond to webhook node here, set enable streaming here, and just enable output from the AI agent just before. And you can just do respond with text. Okay, so that was the only change I've made between now and last episode. I did upload this as the JSON file for Gerald main for episode 3. So if you did download that off of GitHub, you'll already have this change. Okay, next change I've made is I've deleted the SSH tool from this Gerald server here, because this one you could use a much lighter model than you do for the one which I'm renaming to Gerald Tools. So this was Gerald code. It's just going to be Gerald Tools now. So rename that. And we're just going to go back to our Gerald code. So nothing's actually changed here. I just changed the name and just publish that. So there's our Gerald main workflow done. That was a lot of information in not a lot of time, but I'm trying to keep this flowing nicely. So this is horrible. This is very messy and unnamed. So we're going to start adding these MCP services. Just going to drag terminal back over here and show you a way to test how your services are running. So if I just hop into the Docker Compose again and have a scroll down, you'll see each one is assigned a port, like 8883, 8881, 8882, and its SSE is our transport. Just keep that in mind. So if I jump back and I'll do curl, there you go, you can actually see the test I was doing, and then -n, local host, and then a port. So let's do 8881, we know that is, and then /SSE. There you go, and you'll see as long as it gives you the event endpoint and some data, that means your MCP is working. If it doesn't work, you'll see something like this. So if I go to one I don't have, you'll see it just fails to connect to it. Just make sure you have this SSE on the end, because we're not using HTTP streamable. We're using server send events, which is technically deprecated on N8N. Until we get Cloudflare up and running, we're going to be on this SSE section here. But as long as you get this message, you're good to go. So, Gerald code. I'm going to first update this to Gerald Tools, because coding is going to come under our tools. And you'll see we're going to actually update a few things. So in this workflow, we're just going to call this tool task instead. Let's be nice and uniform. Okay, anyway, moving on. I am going to disable the fallback model for now. You can keep that if you like, but I don't really need it. And then I'm going to use my Mac Mini for this one instead of the RTX 3080 one, because I have a nice Qwen 2.57B model I'd like to use. So just rename this. Okay. So Gerald code looks a bit more stripped down now, but they should still work. So if you remember the last episode, we set up our new web UI, which we're going to be doing a lot of improvements on. Let's just make sure we can reach out to Gerald still. Let's say hello. So this is the first time I've messaged a model in an hour, so it may just take a second to spin up. There we go. Okay, it's nice and fast now. So there you go. Say hello. Just get a nice quick reply there. Just passing time until the next directive. So there we go. We have Gerald communicating with us on our web UI using our flow, which in my opinion, this is much nicer than the chat. Although someone did comment saying the web UI shouldn't have been done to the end. I completely agree. I did jump the gun, but I had enough of the chat. So into Gerald code. Now, as long as you've got these tools working as you did before, if you have any issues with these MCP clients, I recommend messaging Claude 3 like we did yesterday, or speaking to ChatGPT, Gemini. You can message me on Instagram if you like, and I can help you out. My Instagram is in the description below. Just because this is a little bit, what we've done is we've updated our Docker Compose to include the MCP clients, which I made the compose for you in this instance, because it took me a couple hours to even get to the point where it would work. But if you give this template to ChatGPT, it will continue on exposing it how we have, because we have a nice template going. And then we've just adjusted Gerald code into Gerald Tools, just so it's a bit more powerful. Right, let's actually add some MCPs. I'm getting tired of waiting around for this. This will be fun. Right, MCP client tool. So in your endpoint, you want to do HTTP. You can either do localhost or your IP address. Sometimes it gets funny about localhost, so I always use IP address. So that's where it's running. Remember, if you don't remember your IP address, just do IPA and look for a 192 address. And then the port, so our first one is 8881. And then change it to server sent events deprecated. We will be going to HTTP streamable once we have a bit of security behind it. Okay, in options, you can set a timeout if it ever fails, but I don't need to do that. And let's execute. See, I forgot the /SSE on the end. There we go. Okay, so this is like our file tool. So let's test it's working by a list directory, and we'll just do /. There we go. So it's got bin, dev, etc., opt, drv, srv, sorry, which is where our actual server is. So we know that's working. But let's keep this nice and tidy as well, and just MCP file system. There we go, there's our first tool set up, and then MCP client tool again. You might find it easier to copy the IP address here and just update the end of the port number. And just make sure you're doing that again. That's just, you have to change the port and it will just bring you up a different tool. So this is Brave, so MCP Brave browser. We'll just set that up there. And then tool again, MCP. I'm sure you can start to see a pattern here. Where I think we're now on 3. Let's execute that step. There you go, so this looks like GitHub. So you can even create repositories through this. So this is everything Gerald's going to be able to do with your GitHub key. So we now have a GitHub agent essentially running locally, which is brilliant. So let's update the name of that as well. So this is MCP GitHub. And then let's add another tool. Let's get rid of that error. We can come back to that. Just get that in there. I think we've done 4 now. Make sure we're SSE. Execute. And this looks like our Ollama. So if I do list, you'll see we have Quen 2.5 0.5b. So this is actually running on my mini PC because I do have 3 Ollama machines running in my office at the same time. Power company loves me. But there's actually some really cool stuff you can do with Ollama, because you could get Gerald to pull a new model. And then if we then set up an N8N MCP, which would allow it to modify the JSON files of the workflows, Gerald could technically dynamically update his own models, which is just crazy to me. But you can have a self-running AI. Might think, hey, my model's not very good. I'm going to give myself a new one. That's how far you can go with these MCP tools, setting them up like we did. I know I teased this in the first episode, but I didn't think I'd get this into it. I had to learn about how the whole MCP front worked here. There we go, so now on 5, so it's a query, an SQL query. So this will be our Postgres tool. So that way Gerald is able to look into it. So let's put that up there, Postgres. Is it Postgres or Postgres? I always get confused. Sure, it could be Postgres. We know what that means. Postgres. And there we go, we have our MCP tools running. So I'm going to hit publish on there, and we still have a little bit of work to do. We're not quite done yet. So Gerald Tools. So we set this system message a couple of episodes ago. So let me come in and big this up a bit. This is now going to be completely useless because it's not descriptive to what we have anymore. So I'm going to get rid of that. So I've gone ahead and made this with Claude, just a nice big file for it. We can actually get rid of NTFY as we never used that. So inside of here, we've told it about the available tools, such as SSH, file system, Brave Search, GitHub, Ollama, and Postgres, and what to actually go and use them for. So we set rules as well. So if a task requires multiple tools, change them in a logical order. So the system message will always be given to the AI agent with the coding task gets passed through. And what I'm going to do as well in this cool AI SSH tool, I'm going to add a description up here. And I'm just going to say used for running commands directly on the server, for Docker management, system admin, things that the file system node won't be able to do. That way, if it is a file node, it's likely going to use the file system rather than SSH, which is a bit more contained and secure. Okay, we're going to rename our workflow to Gerald Tools, because that's the new name we're going for some reason. We'll save. In Gerald main, let's just make sure everything is set up as we like it, because we've kind of redone how it all works today, which is quite cool. So this all looks good, because this Gerald server here, this will never ever be able to run SSH commands now. It's all set within Gerald Tools. And for the more information we want Gerald, we're going to change this from Gerald server to Gerald main, because we're going to make another AI agent for Gerald server someday. So Gerald main is essentially the orchestrator. He will just pick and choose which AI sub-agents to use. And that way you could essentially have a whole chain of agents cycling around through different commands, which would be really powerful. And then just going to double check that call Gerald Tools. So it looks like I already had one here. So use the tools to request. Use this when we're talking about service files, web search, GitHub, databases, Ollama models, or sending notifications. Let's get rid of the sending notifications part. All of these will be in the GitHub down below as well. So don't worry if you get a bit lost. Let's publish. So Gerald, it's still coding task for some reason. So let me refresh that, and it's tool task now. Perfect. There we go. And just define by AI and republish. Let's go into Gerald Tools. Make sure the same thing has happened here. So it still says coding task here, but I suppose once we have our first run, it might just fail. Okay, once it updates, just put it over to tool task, and then you're done, publish. So I did manage to force that just by clicking the edit arrow here, changing that to tool task, and then I can just pass through the new name. And then we're all published. So all that's left to do is come over to our locally hosted chat UI, say hello to Gerald, and let's ask it to do some stuff. Hello there, what's up with the server today? So I'm going to ask it, what Ollama models do I have running? See, this is brilliant. This is what Gerald should have been the first time I made it. So the first time that I got angry at OpenClaw and made my whole rant video and talked about Gerald was something I made in 4 to 5 hours between like 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. as I had a screaming child next to me. And Gerald 2.0 that we're building together, I've really taken the time to kind of think through how to develop it properly, which is just incredible. I love doing this. So it's probably looping through some stuff with Gerald at the moment. I guess it's going to call Gerald Tools now, so we should see an output response in a minute. Now this will speed up. The first couple times you speak to Gerald, it will be slow because the models have to spin up, especially if you have 2 of them running like we do. So the AI sub-agents, we technically have 2 instances of it running, so it might go a little bit slow sometimes. But that's why it's so important you choose models that suit your hardware.
3 hours later.
Okay, so it took me a little while to actually get this working properly. I'll show you what I've updated in a minute. To be specific, I just had to update the system prompts to make it a little bit more direct. But if you've copied the system prompts from the GitHub originally, you'll have the exact right ones anyway. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. All I really did was detail exactly what each one of the MCPs does. But now, as you can see, Gerald has full access to Ollama, and it managed to pull all the models that I have in and their storage spaces, which is brilliant. So we have officially built up Gerald Tools and Gerald Main. Now, just a word of warning here, that the model that you want to pick, you do want a bit of a beefy model if you're using a lot of MCP servers, because it will take all of it as context. So here, I recommend using at least a 9B model. I had a better time with Qwen 3.5 9B, but it was a little bit slow. But with that, Gerald Tools is much more improved now. We've given it specific access to specific tools, which I think is huge. And we're using our web UI here to talk to it. So you can see some of the issues I actually had. It was like, call Gerald Tools. And it was like, I'll do it. I was like, then do it. And it was like, understood. And it just didn't do it. But that was just because the instructions were bad, which is on me, really. But there we go. We've done it. So what we're going to do tomorrow, so there's going to be another Gerald video tomorrow. We're going to do some polishing and some tidy up, fix these workflows up a little bit, and add a bit more prettiness to this UI. But there we go. I will see you tomorrow.